Alright, short video today. We are going to begin the Renaissance. Make sure you're working on your women in history from the 1900s uh, PowerPoint or Google Slides that you're working on. Try and find somebody that was off of those two websites that I gave you guys. Uh, they have a lot of information on there, especially with someone that you can pick to look at. So, the Renaissance. We go from the Dark Ages, which is obviously the bubonic plague and everything that we've talked about, where feudalism is taking hold, where religion is the number one factor in life, and we kind of move on to now where we are looking at thoughts and going back to ancient Greece and ancient Rome. But the cool thing about this is that these Renaissance thinkers bring in a lot of the church aspects also. If you look at a lot of paintings from the Renaissance, or even any type of art aspect from the Renaissance, you're seeing a lot of statues of David and the paintings of the final, the Last Supper with Jesus and his disciples. And the cool thing about this stuff is that a lot of it has brought kind of some conspiracy theories, some hoaxes that have spread around with the painting of the Final Supper, the Last Supper, depicting Mary Magdalene in it, and you have all of these depictions of this aspect, and it was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. Da Vinci is probably, in my book, the smartest human being ever. He was way ahead of his time with the thought processes that he was looking at, the anatomy, the drawings that he did, the way of looking at women and birthing, the engineering feats he did. He had the beginnings of early tanks, scuba systems, flight, you name it. He was, come on, Tank. He was a he was a really early cool guy. Like, he'd be a guy that I would want to hang out with just to pick his brain and to figure out, hey, why are you, why did you think of this stuff, and how did you come up with some of this stuff? There's a show I used to watch when I was in high school and college, and it dealt with it's called Futurama. I'm sure your parents and maybe you might have even heard of it, but it was really cool because they went back to where Da Vinci actually came from, and he was actually the dumbest person on his planet. So they made him come from a different planet. He was an alien, but it was funny because they were making fun of Da Vinci, and you have this aspect of history that we have here with Leonardo da Vinci and the things that he did, and the inventions that he's paved the way for that we use today, that just boggle your mind, that the guys that were putting together Futurama made him the stupidest person in his planet, or on his planet. You have other people like Michelangelo, who painted the Sistine Chapel, spending tons of time, painting the top of this chapel. And it's one of the most world-renowned places to see and to take pictures of, and to go and be a part of, and be able to see that before you're no longer walking this earth. you have so much that comes out of the Renaissance. It's like a explosion of knowledge and thought that you just did not have truly during the Dark Ages, and it really changes the course of human history, the way that these people think. You have the the aspect of the dome. The dome was huge during this time. We've seen domes before, in what we've talked about with the Hagia Sophia and all of those buildings. But one of the big things with the dome was that they could not figure out how to actually like close the top of the dome, because it would be so weak at that point in time. So there's this guy named Filippo Brunicelli who builds and figures out how to finish a dome. I think it was in Venice. Let me make sure. Filippo Brunicelli. Let me make sure. He built it. It's called the Duomo. I do remember that. They call it the Duomo, but it's also named the Dome of the Santa Maria dei Fiori, and it is in Florence. And I do remember that Florence becomes one of the like early big thought areas in Italy and in Europe, where you have people like Donatello and Michelangelo, and a lot of these people, like, they didn't live at the same time, but the Renaissance lasted for hundreds of years, and it's just this way of thinking that totally changed the way humans existed and what we did. It was like, honestly, I mean, this is probably one of my favorite times of human history, and so much of what comes out of this, because each area in Europe has some sort of renaissance, but it's at a different time frame. That's why it lasts for 300, 400 years, because you have the Italians and you have the northern Europeans, the like Germans, and it moves through all of these areas, and it changes so much about life for those people, and they start rereading Aristotle and Plato, and it's just an awesome time in human history. You get this thought process of humanism, where we as a human being are considered more important than other aspects, and it was really it was the movement of like humanistic developments, really, like humanist developments, where we're looking at how we fit into the world, and not how like the world fits with us. Like we're looking at working together with the world. And one of the early drawings of the humanist movement was DaVinci's Vitruvian Man. Something that we would be looking at in the classroom, and dissecting the aspect of the Vitruvian Man. It's I'm sure you've seen it. He's got his arms out like this, and one position, the other position, his arms are up high, and then his legs are spread a little bit, and then he's actually like kind of standing almost. He is naked. We'll put it this way: you look up Renaissance art, sculptures, doesn't matter what it is, they pretty much go back to depicting people naked. They are interested in the human body. Like I said, it's that movement of bringing back ancient Greek and ancient Roman thought processes. there's so much that I like ending the year with this, because we can take time and take the last month and a half to really dive deep into the Renaissance and the implications it had on even how we live today, and the things that we look at. The one cool thing, and it's the first slide, it's the opening slide of the Nearpod, which I'll share with you guys, is that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you guys don't know who they are, you've been living underneath a rock. You need to watch the Turtles. They are all named after Renaissance painters, sculptors. You got Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, and Raphael. And if I remember correctly, even Splinter is named after someone. Let me make sure. Who is Master Splinter? Pretty positive he is also maybe not. I could have sworn Master Splinter. Maybe not. I could be wrong. Let's see. I guess not. I could have sworn I remember him being named from something also that dealt with the Renaissance. But you get the gist of this, is the fact that even the turtles themselves are, the Renaissance has really influenced a lot of the stuff. And it wasn't just painting and sculpting and engineering and architecture. You can really look at vocabulary, English, those types of things that come from the Renaissance also. So for the rest of the school year, we will be looking at the Renaissance. This is the introduction to the Renaissance. Friday, I am going to watch the video that I have on there again, just to refresh myself on the Nearpod. And I suggest you guys do it too if you have time. And I'm going to go over that video, kind of give you guys a background, a little bit more of what that video was giving you guys. And that's about it for today. So, like I said, it was a little bit shorter than what it usually is. And I'll show you guys the first slide. There they are. Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Leonardo. The Turtles. Good movie. Ask your parents about it, if they're about my age. Don't know. I will talk to you guys on Friday. And I'm going to put some office hours tomorrow for about an hour. I'll be on Google Meets if any of you guys need any guidance with any of the homework that you still need to make up, or the Google slides that you're working on. So enjoy your day. See you later.